Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Halifax Forum. It is the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships here at 360 Live. It is the 4 versus 1 contest. It is the West Hants Warriors, the 4th seed, taking on the number 1 seed, TASA Ducks. Hi, everybody. Dan Hobson, delighted to bring this one. This is the 3rd time these teams have met during this season. They met at the Buster Harvey, and it was a 4-3 win for the Ducks over the West Hants Warriors. And I was talking to Greg Riley and his coaching staff before the game, and at one point they actually had the lead in that, but they were unable to hold on. So maybe they're hoping for that game here in this playoff game, as opposed to yesterday, which was an 11-0 thrashing there by the TASA Ducks over the West Hants Warriors. So lots up for grabs here in this one. Teams having pretty good seasons. We have documented the TASA Ducks 26-0-2, first in the Central Minor Hockey Federation, and the West Hants Warriors 23-0-1. And we are underway as it's Phillips, and he has had success. 3 goals and 2 games versus the West Hants Warriors. Dumping it in there for the TASA Ducks. Starting goaltenders is, of course, Chase Kroll there for the West Hants Warriors, and Ben McDonald for the TASA Ducks as we are underway here. McCullum Messam, who won the hardest shot yesterday. And back comes William Shields, and he has been the talk of this tournament, but he was held off the score sheet yesterday. He has 2 goals, 1 assist against the Ducks back at the Buster Harvey tournament, and I mentioned nothing in their 11-0 result yesterday. So, but he is battling a little bit of the flu. Talking to the coaching staff, he's 100% ready to go. And I was also talking to Ryan Backman, the head coach of the TASA Ducks, before this one, and he's probably expecting that number 9 there, the big center, and the captain of this West Hants Warrior team will be double shifted. So you'll see a lot of them here in this one. As we're back, puck going back down as McCullum Messam trying to go for a puck, and his players fall down on the play. And it's sent in behind the net, and West Hants Warriors looking pretty good here. Sparks blows a tire, and it allows the Ducks to get it to the blue line. Just out as it's chipped out the rest of the way there by Burke, as Jodry will go back to his own zone there for the West Hants Warriors. So the coaching staffs of both teams have flushed yesterday's game out of their minds and expect a little bit of a different result, and we may see a little bit of a closer game, just like what they played at the Buster Harvey tournament back in November. Manders trying to get something going there, but nice little work is coming off the bench was O'Coin, and now he's had some success here at the championships. In there in terms of points, looking for a loose puck there for the Ducks. And up with it now is the West Hants Warriors, and now they get things going. That is Giswald, who's had a pretty good championship so far. Maybe the score sheet doesn't indicate that, but he's one of the fastest skaters here on the West Hants Warriors. And behind the goal is Rivera. Rivera will send it down low. Here's Carney. Carney will send it back. Halliday sends it in down low. And behind the net, O'Coin once again centering there. It's in the blue ice, and a whack there by Rivera, but it was a little bit of a bouncing puck. But O'Coin was just more going for speed and really not going for a hard pass. And it was a bouncer out front, and he couldn't get good composite on it. Here comes Shields once again with the dump in and goes in after it. A 3D, he's a triple threat. And you've got to keep an eye on him. And of course, he's been sort of the talk. He's been the talk of the media. He was on the local radio station earlier as I was making my way into the forum this morning. They were talking about him. And, of course, when you have 6 goals in one game and you have, of course, 2 more on that, you're like having a fantastic championships and doing that while still under the weather. And it's even amazing, even after being kept off the score sheet, he's still pretty respectable. And he averages about 2 goals per game, 49 goals in the Nova Scotia Mainland Hockey League. And in tournament play, he had 11. 63 points overall in the league and 15 in tournaments. As the Ducks pressing here, a shot, and Kroll up to the task. Makes a couple of nice big saves. There is the Ducks pressing here, trying to get that first goal of the game. Out there on the ice right now for the TASA Ducks is Sarah Bush. She wears number 7. Nova Scotia PeeWee Hockey League. We talk about all the leagues. Of course, the Mainland Hockey League, the Central Minor Hockey Federation, and the Cape Breton League, putting out some really good future major bantams. And a lot of female players have gone out to play in that league. And Bush is probably maybe trying to get a spot on that Gulls there. And they have 16 graduating players out of the 17. So this is all or bust here for the Ducks. Duck fans are making noise, and they have a big fan base here once again at the Halifax Forum as we come up to 4.5 gone here in period number 1. Ducks there right along the goal line defending, preventing a pass from coming out, and now they'll start to get something going in transition, but Burke loses the puck. And this will go to the blue line, but it will actually split the D and go back, so Jodry will have to go back into his own zone. And this will actually get teams to make a change here as we are coming up to the 5-minute mark here. Still no score between Ducks and the Warriors. It is semifinal number 1 here at the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships. Prince going back. Has a little bit of burst of speed. Rake wide pass to Rivera. Was thinking about splitting the D and going up the middle. It does. A wrist shot by Rivera. Stopped by Kroll. 9 minutes and 51 seconds left here in period number 1. Kearney ties up his man in the face-off circle. Rivera tried to kick it to his stick and was unsuccessful. Here comes Shields now. Can he go wide and get a speed here in Halliday? Wrist shot, pad save by McDonald. And back there was Phillips. One and done. There was a big rebound, but Phillips helps him out. Rivera now as Kearney drives to the net. O'Coin also there. So you can see that is a really different game compared to yesterday. Shields is the factor. And talking to Ryan Backman a couple days ago, we were talking about William Shields. He said if you know that he's going to get his chances and you know that he's going to get maybe average of 3 points a game, you know, if you could keep him to under 3 points a game, you stand a good chance of winning. Yesterday they did. They just don't really want him to be the difference maker and get like 3 or 4. And he has done that here. The championships has had 4 to 5 point games. He's got speed, size, and a shot. Craig Esty, who has been following me on Twitter at DadeObs12, has been sending comments back and says that his son was a goaltender in the Acadia PeeWee Axemen, a team that plays in the Mainland League. So he's got the bruises to show that he's got a hard shot here. As the officials were together, now they have broken up their side bar and ready to drop the puck is Quinn Kennedy. Picked up some hardware at the end of last night's round-robin game between the Steelers and the Bedford Blues. Having himself a good championships as well. Cycle game now here for the Ducks. 8:51 remains here as that gets by. Shearer trying to get going, but McPhee with a good stick. Shearer was maybe hoping for a good breakaway, but that doesn't come to fruition now. Ducks get it down into the West Warriors zone. Warriors trying to clear. As Prince keeps the line. Prince now has some room. He'll cut towards the middle. Scherer gets a piece of him. Actually, Leopold, pardon me. And back come the assistant captain. And you can see that he's going to start to join the rush every once in a while. Robert McCullough-Messam usually plays defense, but he's been joining the rush, so he's going to try to make himself a little bit of a factor. And the thing is, he's got a size advantage definitely over some of these TASA Duck players. So if he gets going on a rush, he may be hard to stop. And he's got a hard shot, as I mentioned earlier. So you can see a little bit of a different game plan here by the West Hants Warriors. You know, they have really done a great job of putting that game away yesterday, and that was yesterday, and today is today, and the future is ours to see. Shields a shot and a stop by McDonald. He's getting his chances he didn't yesterday, so the Ducks are maybe want to tighten down. Whatever they did yesterday defensively, they got to do now, but McAber steps into it, and a save there by McDonald. On paper, this had the possibility of being the championship final, but the West Hants Warriors, one of the things that was sort of hurting them at the championships was penalties, so. And they took a lot in their game against Pictou and took a lot in their game against the Ducks, and they said if we can stay out of the box, we can make a game out of this. As Shields is back out there again. They're going to have to make sure they keep them replenished with Gatorade, of course, and all kinds of stuff, because with the flu and double shifting him here today, he's going to have to really give it the old gutsy effort here in this one. Kearney, wrist shot. Kroll with the save. There's a rebound there, and it's well defended by the Warriors as they actually take the man out before he could get a shot. And here they come the other way. Up there is Porter Kroll as it's dumped in there. And a change begins. So Sparks Davison out here. And the other forward is Giswald there. So they're hoping to get something going here. Sparks there tried to put a little tip pass through. Nice little touch pass to center ice, and it's stolen there by the Ducks. And back they come the other way. Max Baldwin now. But nice positioning there by Leopold there. Got position and had some speed there. Baldwin in behind the net trying to centering. And Leopold stops that one. But the Ducks keep going here. Here's Burke. Burke trying to spin around. Baldwin trying to wrap around, and it's well read there by Kroll. And Leopold also there. Here's Giswald now. He started to turn on the Jets, and we saw a little bit of his speed here at the championships. Oh, unable to settle that bouncing puck was O'Brien there for the Ducks. So we have our first power play coming up. Our first penalty. Power play is brought to you by Atlantic Acura, a tripping penalty. It will be Davison that goes to the box. 6:21 remains here in the period. And you know for sure that you're going to see Shields a lot. You could probably see him for maybe a good 3/4 of this penalty kill. He's had some shorthanded goals here at the championships. Backhand, and hits a body, and it doesn't miss by much as it goes towards the corner. O'Brien. Giswald watching him. Wrist shot through a maze of players. It doesn't get through, and West Hants sends it down. One and done, and Shields puts on his horse, try to come with the puck. He's got the eye of the tiger here, Survivor. Razzle has it. It hits a body of front. It's inside the blue ice. Razzle and Shields, the penalty killers, as well as Fletcher and McAber here for the West Hants Warriors. Ducks have 4 broken out here in a 4-on-2. But they don't get a shot as they go in behind the goal. But they'll reorganize and keep it here along the near side boards. Penalty has 1:04 left here. Centering pass there. Kennedy! And he missed it altogether. Good setup. Kennedy now. Oh, nice little move is tries for the backhand, and that's a team play. Of course, Fletcher got his stick, and then it's sent down the ice. It's a good piece of work here by him. A solid defenseman, Ryan Fletcher, wears number 6. Speaking of solid defenseman, I call Messam out there now. Here's O'Brien trying to go wide on Macker. O'Brien, backhander, and that's easily stopped by Kroll. Butterfly style with that one. Bush just fresh off the bench there, has it. 25 seconds remaining in the Davison tripping penalty. First power play of the morning, and it's sent down. This one seems to be powerless so far for the Ducks. And once again, Shields back out there in a penalty killing rolled. Giswald giving out instructions as they have got it set up, but the Ducks may get one final shot. Here's O'Coin. It doesn't get through, and Puck's there outside the blue ice. Another whack here by O'Coin. Loose again. And bend but don't break. The late stages there of that power play became a little bit dangerous, and a couple of seconds after it expired. Here's Shields now. Oh, nice defensive play. Team's going end to end. The referee's letting them go here. Just one penalty here so far in the first period, and no score as we come up to 3:53 remaining in the first. Leopold goes off boards and out. Judge has it now for the Ducks. Gets it off to Baldwin. And now Jodry in a foot race. Looks around. Baldwin right in the neighborhood. And looks out for the good there for the West Hants Warriors. As Porter Kroll comes out to the blue line there. Had a little bit of traffic and had the thought better of it. Sends it to the far side. And they were on their own side of center ice. So they've iced the puck here with 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the opening period. And their game yesterday was 2-0. Phillips had both goals there in that first period, and you could see the players thought it was going to be different, the coaches thought it was different, and it has been a different story here in this one. Playoff portion of the PeeWee Provincial Championships from the Halifax Forum here on 360 Live. Dan Hobson along for the call. Glad you can join us wherever you're watching on the World Wide Web. And, of course, if you're just joining us a little bit late to the program, and I had a chance to tee up the game there on Twitter, follow me at Dan Hobson 12 to get the tee up on this one between these two teams as Baldwin gets a shot and Chase Kroll makes the stop. And there's that Dan Hobson 12. And I'm also going to preview the other semifinal between the Blues and the Miners. Shearer sends it in there for the West Hants Warriors with the Ducks all back. Get it up to center ice. McCollum Messon with a nice little move there to dump it in as the Ducks are trying to go for the steal. Fuller now. Pass picked off. Shields now, but can't go wide. Well defended by Phillips. You know Phillips is a good offensive starter, but made a nice solid defensive play there. Fuller. Now the shot there by Kennedy is stopped. Big loose rebound, the blue ice. Oh, they score as Michael O'Brien running out of room. Threads the eye of the needle, makes it 1-0. And that's a backbreaker, 13-10 of the first period. O'Brien with the goal, 13-10, 1-0. So the Warriors, can they strike quickly before this period comes to an end? It's a minute 14 remaining. Burke now, shot, and the save, and there was a big rebound up for grabs, but West Hants Warriors came up with it and get it out to center ice. The other Shields, Matthew, blows a tire. Once again, Burke. Burke, who had a very good showing at the Buster Harvey tournament here for these Ducks. He was a leading point getter, had 4 points in the championship that they won there. As we're under a minute to go here in the opening period. O'Coin trying to come with the loose biscuit. Here's Prince. Wrist shot. And once again, getting in the way. That was Ryan Fletcher there for the West Hants Warriors. They have gotten in the way, and they're sacrificing their body. 4 block shots so far. Doing a better job in that category. From well out. And Kroll makes that and steers it towards the corner. 10 seconds remains here in the first period. Ducks pressing once again, trying to get a shot before this comes to an end. McPhee does, but it gets blocked as that hits Shields' skate. So 1-0's where we stand after the opening 15 minutes of play here at the Halifax Forum. As you see in the top of your screen, the officials at center ice and the Ducks there talking things over, and they got a late goal thanks to O'Brien. 13-10 lead this one by a score of 1-0 after the opening 15 minutes of play. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. My name is Dan Hobson, and we're delighted to have you here. This is the 4-versus-1 game. The Warriors finished 4th in the round-robin portion. The Ducks number 1. On paper, it looked like these teams were maybe going to meet for the final, but that was not the case. The Warriors having a little bit of difficulty. They have a little bit of adversity as their captain and their top scorer, not only here on the team, but in the Nova Scotia Mainland Hockey League, William Shields was battling the flu, and he is... from what the coaches tell me, good to go today, and you'll probably see a lot of that big number 9 out there, and you probably may see a little bit more of them now as they're trailing this one by a score of 1-0. So we're glad you can join us wherever you're watching, and here comes the big number 9, William Shields, with a burst of speed. Shields now, wrist shot, and I think McDonald gets a piece, but the Ducks are really not giving him much in terms of room, but he's got 3 shots so far. Here's O'Coin, and a blocker saved by Kroll. He was looking to the sky. He lost sight of it. Puck comes back to O'Coin, and a nice stick there by the Warriors. And they'll get it poked out to center ice. Fletcher going in after it. Lost it momentarily, but regains possession there for the West Hants Warriors. O'Brien there as it's knocked down there by Kennedy. Good hand-eye coordination, but it's a little bit too high as it's knocked down with a high stick. So they'll bring it outside the line with 1:07 gone here in the second period. O'Brien at 13-10 in the first period. And you got to like the discipline. It's a little bit better here for the West Hants Warriors. Only took 1 penalty. But they're still find themselves trailing. Here's Kennedy, wrist shot. Oh, and Kroll gets a piece, and it looked like it was going to bounce in, but it just goes wide by about a foot after it hit him. So Kennedy, he's getting close. Good news for Duck fans, bad news for Warriors fans. Has been pretty well their go-to guy here at the championships, as well as Phillips. You know, just a lot of people here you've got to shut down. If you're the West Hants Warriors, there's a chip in here as Giswald puts it out front. That actually hits the defenseman McPhee, and McDonald makes the stop, but we've seen some burst of speed from Giswald there. Magnus Giswald wearing number 19 there for the West Hants Warriors. Leopold trying to get that through a maze of players, and that's unsuccessful. Rivera now Watched by Shields, and he goes in after it. Leopold first back there, feels the pressure. Slight bump there from Rivera. No checking in this league, of course, but doesn't mean you're not allowed to touch each other every once in a while. Kroll loses the puck there. Porter Kroll. But the West Hants Warriors all back are defending. Better defensive play out of them here so far in this one as it's sent back down. They've iced the puck, but no penalization. The players can make changes here in this league, and they will do that. 2.5 gone here in the second period. O'Brien, the late stages of the first, 1-0. Began the championships with 7 teams, 120 best Nova Scotia PeeWee players, and now we are down to 4 teams remaining. And by the time this one is done, we'll be down to 3 in a semifinal number 2 at 10:30 with the Blues and the Miners. And they played in the round robin, and it was a 4-4 tie. This will be the second time that they've met, so not much of a history. So if the round robin portion tells us anything, we should be in for a dandy. But sometimes round robin doesn't really tell a story, because yesterday it was 11-0 crashing here by the Ducks. Right now 1-0 as we're in the second period, and it's a totally different looking West Hants Warrior team here. Centering pass there too far as Sparks was right there but couldn't handle that pass. It was right behind her too. Dumped in there by the Ducks. Tristan Penny going in after it. Now they'll start a little bit of a change here for the Ducks. That actually pokes off the stick of Prince and goes into the Warrior bench area. Shields once again out here. He's going to be taking a lot of draws. The team captains are going to meet. Kennedy, Shields. Kennedy just poked it back and then held the stick up, and that allowed the Ducks to get possession as O'Brien will send it in. As we're coming up to the 4-minute mark here of the second period, 1-0 to score. O'Brien, the goal late in that first period. Shields now, he has some room and he's turning on the Jets. Cuts towards the middle, Shields still has it, goes back to Fletcher. Fletcher with the wrist shot, it goes high and it might have hit a couple of gloves that went over the net. But you can see the Duck players really collapsed and really shut down the shooting lane there for Shields, that he had to really pass it back to the point. Didn't have any other play to do. They know what he could do. I mean, the thing is that the coaching staff of the Ducks know. Of course, the coaching staff led by Coach Ryan Backman, assistant coaches Luke Sexton, Dave Bennett, and Josh Fader. It's kind of funny, as I was meeting with the coaches there earlier at the championships on Thursday. They were wanting me to refer to Luke as Fuzzy, and I said I wasn't going to do that, but then when the program has his name Fuzzy on it, you know, you got to pretty well go with what the program says. It's there, it's documented. Had a chance to meet these guys there the first time in Trenton a couple years ago. There's a penalty coming up, so we'll have another Atlantic Acura power play here. And it's Giswald that will go to the box for body contact. TASA Ducks will go on the Atlantic Acura power play. And every penalty right now is crucial here for the West Hants Warriors. But based on the way things were going to championships, they had a constant parade. They have really cleaned their game up in there, and it has made a difference factor. Yesterday, there was 3 goals scored on the 5-on-3 there for the TASA Ducks, and that's according to the coaching staff. And they said that will make a difference, as the Ducks were a little bit discombobulated, so they've gone offside, come outside the line. Minute 35 remaining in the Giswald body contact penalty. 9:54 remaining here, period number 2. Shields, Kroll, Fletcher, and McCullough Messam, the penalty killers here for the West Hants Warriors. And it's Fuller, Kennedy, Prince, O'Brien, and Phillips on the power play unit. Prince can't knock it down enough to keep it inside the line. Gets the return pass there from Phillips, the assistant captain on this team. Here's Fuller now as the battle of the 11s there. Prince, Phillips. I was thinking about that last nine. Prince Phillips. Royalty in the building here today. As that shot goes wide by Prince. Trying to set up O'Brien. He's got the lone goal right now in this game. Oh, there's a pass picked off, and if he handled it off to the races with Shields, but he gets it and sends it down, but he was more thinking of a shorthanded chance, and he knows what to do shorthanded. He's shown it here at the championships. 36 seconds left in the Giswold penalty. Phillips now gets on his horse, coming down. Phillips now. Phillips backhand. Kroll with the save and another save. That's a big one. As Kroll goes toe-to-toe with the big defenseman, keeping it a one-goal game. 19 seconds left in Giswold's penalty is the one-timer by O'Brien as he snipes that wide. 10 seconds left in the penalty to Giswold as Kennedy is behind the goal. His time is winding down on the Atlantic Acura power play. And O'Brien will lose the handle, and the penalized player is back, and this will be the first penalty of the game here for the TASA Ducks. As Kennedy is going to go off for tripping the West Hants Warrior player. And now it will be the Warriors that will go on the Atlantic Acura power play. And the puck will go down into the Ducks zone. And you're going to see a heavy dose of McCullough Messam, Giswold, and William Shields here. In fact, you see McCullough Messam there, top of the faceoff circle. They may try to, make him get in the kitchen of McDonald. He's a tough body to move, so that's an excellent strategy here by Greg Riley and the West Hants Warriors. Oh, what a nice move there by Porter Kroll. McCullough Messam swing and a miss. He was going to fan on it mostly anyway, so he'll keep it alive. Was pressured there by O'Coin. McPhee had a chance to clear. And finally coming back is Kearney, but they still can't get it outside the line. Shields bouncing puck, couldn't settle it down. Minute 27 remaining in the power play. As we come up to the halfway point here of period number 2 as it's set down the ice. Manders goes back. Lead pass up ahead, too far for Shields, and the Ducks will have some time and space. In the meantime, Porter Kroll going up the force situation, but as you see, they easily send it down the ice. A minute remains here in the Kennedy penalty. Giswold poked off there by Phillips. And is sent back in. And Prince has some room and will find the lane and put it right on to Kroll. Kroll with that butterfly style knows that it's bouncing puck as you get into this late stages here of the second period. You can see the ice, a little bit of a condition, not as good as it once was. With no flooding between periods, and we're in the second period, it gets to be a little bit of a factor, and the pucks start to flutter there. Raf telling the move, the puck, and they do. Phillips and Shearer will win that puck battle, send it down low. 14 seconds left. And whistle stops play. With 10 seconds remaining and the penalty here to Kennedy. Full changes for both teams. 6:27 remains here in the second period. Jodry can't keep it in, so that will blow play down. Actually, they're going to say it hit the glass before Jodry couldn't keep it in, so it's a face-off here in the Ducks zone with 6 ticks left in the penalty here to Kennedy. So specialty teams, not much of a factor here as the West Hants Warriors will now go 0 for 1. and 0 for 2 so far. The Ducks, their goal by O'Brien was even strength at the 13:10 mark of the first period, and that's where we stand as we come up to 6 to go here, second period. Nothing like playoff hockey, isn't there, folks? Really difference between the regular season and round robin versus a playoff round. Win and you're in, lose and you go home. Really different scenario. Penny with a backhand and Kroll with the stop. Flashes a glove for the stoppage and play. Maybe folks may be tuning in here for the first time. We may have folks, of course, have been tuning us here for the championships. Are aware, of course, Chase Kroll, the lone goaltender here for the West Hants Warriors. So he's logged a lot of minutes. And he's been solid between the pipes here. But he was just left like a sitting duck yesterday, and it kind of was an unfortunate situation. You know, if you had the backup goaltender, you would have gone to him. But when you have one that plays every game, it's not really much of an option. So a really good bounce back here for him. He's looked pretty good, and he's looked pretty confident too. Well outside blue ice, really challenging the shooters, and really that's all you could ask. Sometimes you can tell goaltenders, you know, not feeling their game when they're real deep to the crease. That's not the case for Kroll here in this one. Phillips there for Prince there, and the other Kroll up there trying to come up with a puck there is Porter. Fletcher trying to spin away. He gives it to O'Coin, and that's not a player you really want to give it to. And Kroll will bail out his teammate, and it keeps it a one-goal game with less than 5 minutes remaining here in period number 2. And that could have been maybe a backbreaker if he gave up that one. Rivera trying to go around Leopold. Leopold forces him in behind the goal. Leopold and Mackerber collide, and there was a open player there for the meantime as they were not on the same page. Puck out center ice. Carney trying to get things going there for the Ducks as we have a whistle stopping play. With 4:22 remaining here, period number 2, it remains 1-0. The teams faced each other, as I said, at the Buster Harvey, and yesterday, 2 totally different stories, isn't it? .413 remaining here as the puck's down low. McCullough Messam uses his size to come up with it, but he loses it to Kennedy. Bush with it. Back to Kennedy. Kennedy blows a tire, but that's no big deal as O'Brien has it. Back to O'Kennedy out front. Rolling puck goes in behind the goals. The West Hants Warrior get possession. They try to go high, but they can't get it out. McPhee, wrist shot. That doesn't get through as the assistant captain, McCullough Messam, gets in the way of that. O'Brien wrist shot that sails over the net. Pressure here by the Ducks, late stages. Second period, Kennedy, and it hits the knob there of Kroll's stick. And that wasn't an easy save. He had traffic there, and it came quick. He had a seeing lane, and then it disappeared quickly as they set the screen up. O'Brien now, as they try to cycle that puck down low, but it will be Giswald and the Warriors a chance to clear. They try to go high off glass, and they do get it out. Sparks was looking for it and trying to go to the races and couldn't get the biscuit and get going the other way. Speaking of going the other way, here comes Shields now, 1-on-3. Gets a little bit of a stick there from O'Brien. It doesn't stop him. Centering pass, but there's nobody there. As Shearer was on the other side, and getting in the way was McPhee there for the Ducks. Here goes McPhee after the puck. And you see a little different checking system set up here. Nice box set up here by the Warriors as they get something going here. The Ducks, that is. One and done. Shields there flips it. And that is some nice fancy work there by Prince to keep it in. But it doesn't stay in there for long. Razzle now. Here's Shields. Now he's on the backhand. Backhand scores! Tying it up. William Shields. Give him a little bit of space and he takes advantage of it. And he ties it at 1. O'Brien 13-10 of the first period. Late period goals. This one is as well. 12-34. Shields gets it or ties it at 1. Oh, West Hants Warriors now making noise here at the Halifax Forum. And all of a sudden, Duck fans may be a little bit scared and chewing on their fingernails. Rivera blows an edge there, so he cleans off his skate before this face-off draw. Shields and Kearney in the draw. So Shields for the Warriors, O'Brien for the Ducks, 1-1 with 2 to go here in period number 2. Halliday trying to cut towards the middle, and that drive is stopped and sent down. Will not have enough for icing as it won't get across the line, and it's waved off. It did get across the line, but the linesman there said you could play it. Porter Kroll with some speed. Now Porter Kroll and a pad save there by McDonald on that shot. They're kicking it out just in the nick of time. 100 seconds left, second period. Kearney goes wide there, and McCullough Messam. Kearney looking for some helps. Goes off the boards here as McPhee with the shot. And that is stopped there. Partial deflection out front. And Kroll showing that he's on his game. Makes that stop. A minute and 29 remains in this second period. And I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. This third period coming up will be a dandy. That's providing that, of course, the Ducks don't score. We're in for a great 15 minutes, but Warriors now maybe thinking about just trying to hold on and try to keep this one. Ducks want to get that goal back. Here comes Shields again. He'll poke it out and get on his horse. Look at this. Here he goes. William Shields, wrist shot, and McDonald challenging well outside the blue ice. Might have ran out of real estate. A little bit of a sharp angle shot. PA announcer says 1 to go here in period number 2. 1 to go to intermission here at the Halifax Forum of a 1-1 game. What a difference 24 hours makes. Here's the goal scorer here. O'Brien there with a long lead pass up to Kennedy. Kroll comes out, and Kroll and Kennedy collide, and Kroll's okay as he gets up quickly. Kennedy not so much. Phillips goes back in his own zone. Kennedy's slow to get out. Now he finally gets out the line, so they are onside, and Phillips comes in. Phillips there. Shot. Kroll with the save. Not much on the shot, and the seeing lane was there. 10 seconds remaining. Make that 15. Another shot. That doesn't get through. Lots of traffic out front. Here's Burke now with the clock at 7 to shoot here to the end of the period. Wrist shot. And a nice shoulder there as Judge with a little bit of a bouncer there, and Kroll with the quick reaction with the shoulder shrugs that off. And bend but don't break late stages as Kroll comes up big after that goal. The Ducks pressing, trying to get that go-ahead goal before the end of the period. But we're going to be, as I said, in for a dandy of a third period. We hope you join us for it. Third period coming up. 1-1 score. Warriors, Ducks here at the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Championships here on 360 Live. Welcome back to the Halifax Forum. Third period action between the West Hants Warriors and the TASA Ducks. Semifinal number 1 of the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Championships. And man, oh man, what a difference a day makes. 1-1 is where we stand here in the third period. Yesterday, these teams met in round robin, and it was quite a different story. It was 8-0 for the Ducks after 2 periods of play. But you've seen that the West Hants Warriors have stopped the parade to the penalty box, and it has made a little bit of a factor in this one, and that goes without saying. 1-1's where we stand. Of course, the goals, O'Brien came at 13-10 of the first period, Warriors of the second. This has been a relatively quiet game in terms of penalties. Only 3 so far here in this game, and the officials have done a fantastic job of letting the guys and girls play, and we've seen some great end-to-end action. It has been an entertaining game to call, and we hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. I want to say a special hello to the Kennedys out watching back in Campbellton, New Brunswick. We say hello to them. Hope they're enjoying the broadcast, and we are, of course, enjoying bringing the broadcast to you. So we say hello and thank you for the kind words. And we are really delighted to be here at the Halifax Forum. Just having a little bit of an issue here with the ice, waiting for it to, a little bit of some excess water to dry, so that's the reason why we have a delay. So far, of course, the TASA Ducks against these West Hants Warriors, their top scorers have been Owen Phillips and O'Coin and Quinn Kennedy. And so far, they have been held off the sheet. And William Shields has the goal right now for the West Hants Warriors as we're back underway with period number 3. O'Brien trying to send it back to Fuller. That's out front there as that's poked off Kennedy's stick before he can get a shot. And defensive play has been strong here for the Warriors. They're looking a little bit better in that category as that's chipped down. Shields once again. Halliday, I'm not sure if Halliday knew he was breathing down his neck. He might have at the last second. Here's William Shields now. Put the pass out there. Was trying to set up Giswald, and it was too far out of his reach. Here's Fletcher now. Gets it out center ice area. Sparks now. Dances in across the line. Giswald there. Halliday gets in the way of that one. Centering pass. Loose bouncing puck out front. Fletcher holds the line. Halliday will have a chance to clear for the Ducks. Giswald keeping it in. It actually hit Baldwin. A lucky bounce, a shot, and getting a piece of it there as McDonald on the shot there by Davison. Davison's had some success against this TASA Duck team. He had a goal and assist when they met the Buster Harvey back in November. Net is off its pegs, and the referee finally will blow play down as one of the Duck players, Burke, collides with the goaltender Chase Kroll, and it knocked the net off its pegs, so that's the stoppage in play. Just past 1.5 gone here in period number 3. Ducks will get possession of the puck off the draw. O'Coin. 3 of his 4 goals versus the West Hants Warriors came in yesterday's 11-0 win. There's the shot there by Rivera, and the lively ice and lively boards, and the Warriors know about it. They were trying to make sure it didn't come back up front. Ava Shearer, the pass doesn't get to her. It's picked off, but second chance and sent back in, but it was on their side of center ice. So icing is the call. Third period here at the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships is brought to you by Cushman Wakefield. Guarding Shields, round 2. Shields gets it and comes up with it, and now he gets on his horse. Can he get wide here? Prince, here he goes. Shields, wrist shot pad, save. McDonald once again well outside the blue ice. Shields, puck stuck to like a bag and scores! What a set up. It was Shields, and then the tip in. Referee looking for the number. Davison, pat on the back. It's 2-1. Actually, it's Rousel that gets it. And all of a sudden, the upset flashing light is starting to shine and has been turned on. Upset alert here at the Halifax Forum. It's 2-1. Ducks will have plenty to say. Lots of hockey left as Kennedy's shot is stopped there by Kroll. And Matthew Shields give him a nice hug. Zach Razzle. Rousel with the goal. Shields just with the intelligence could have gone for the shot, but then saw that Rousel was there in the back door and fed it right through, and he had all kinds of room to put it in. One of the beauty goals so far at the championships, and it comes in the playoff round. 3 minutes gone here in period number 3. 2-1 to score. West Hants Warriors versus the TASA Ducks. And what a change it has been. There's a shot there by Kennedy, and that's stopped there by Kroll. You have a funny feeling that maybe this will change the strategy here for Backman and crew. You may see Kennedy a lot as well as O'Coin. That's sent back in and changes, and you know that the West Hants Warriors are just going to probably try to do the quick changes. Kennedy now, boy, trying to go through a maze. There was all kinds of blue and orange jerseys. Really nowhere for him to go that time. Burke just fresh off the bench there for the Ducks, sends it in. And back come the Warriors the other way. His pass is picked off, but following up is William Shields again. Shields and a blocker save. Shields is getting open on that wing, and that's something that the Ducks are going to have to stop. He's gotten chances. That's where he got his goal there late in that second period. And, of course, he had that set up there to Rousel. Baldwin now in behind the goal. Manders will slap it in. Another stick save right into the netting. And you could hear the West Hants Warriors there. They're getting vocal. And just at the very top of your screen, just below the scoreboard, is the Duck fans in behind the bench, and they are probably a little bit shocked, and they are very quiet right now. Talk of the town during the round robin portion. And right now, for the first time, have a little bit of adversity. They have never trailed in any of their games here until this game here. Rivera. Here's O'Coin now. They said he's had success against this West Hants Warrior team. Scored back at the Buster Harvey and got 3 yesterday in the win. Hoping to try to get something going, but you can see it's a better defensive system set up there. Not really much in terms of shooting lanes out front in that slot area. The players collide there. Referees, once again, turn a blind eye to it. See nothing, saw nothing. Play continues on. 9:54 remaining here in the third period as play is stopped. Shields Kennedy. Also was talking to the coaching staff of the West Hants Warriors, and they were saying about the skills competition and how they were interacting with some of the players. And, of course, you figure that you're in separate leagues. You don't really get a chance to see each other, but it's not the case. They've played in a lot of tournaments together. Of course, I've talked a lot about the Buster Harvey tournament, where they met. So there has been interaction, and they're getting to be close friends off the ice, but they're throwing friendships out the door here as there's a championship up for grabs. Of course, two teams will be representing Nova Scotia at the Atlantics in a couple weekends now at the New Glasgow's Pictou County Wellness Center. The Pictou County Crushers here at the tournament, but they were unable to get a point. They're hosting, and we've got 4 teams trying to get that one ticket left. There's Kennedy. Kennedy's hauled down, and this will be an Atlantic Acura power play, and you might want to put that one in the smart category as Kennedy was starting to go off to the races. It will be a trip. And Mackenberg will go to the box. One of the great broadcasters here in Canada, and he was here in Halifax a couple of weeks ago, Tim McAuliffe. He'd use a term, special players make special plays on special days. Do the Ducks have a special play to come up and tie this game at 2? Sparks, she has been fantastic on the penalty kill there. She almost gave up a loose puck. In the meantime, Phillips has it and is cutting and weaving and gets in the zone. Trying to put a pass there, and you can see West Hants Warriors 3 back. That actually hits the netting. So that will cause a stoppage in play as it goes out of play. Minute 28 remains in the Atlantic Acura power play here for the TASA Ducks. And they will change all 5 here. They will send Kennedy, Fuller, and O'Brien, Phillips, and Prince. That is the power play unit for them. William Shields, Robert McCollum-Messam, Rousel, who's got the go-ahead goal out there. The 3 of the 4 penalty killers. Here's a steal. Rousel. Pumped there by Prince, and Prince is going to go to the box, so that will notify the power play here for the Ducks. We'll have 4 side for a minute 15. Prince called for body contact. The team, of course, has been the guy that has driven the bus this season here for the Warriors. Of course, William Shields, but how great has Rousel been here in this one? Gets the go-ahead, draws the penalty, and makes it 4 skaters aside. And what this really does with 8:15 left is shorten the game here for the Ducks, and it really makes it really hard. They're going to have to start to take some chances. And speaking of chances, here comes Kennedy with a chance. He pokes it by. He has some room. Kennedy, wrist shot. And Kroll gets a piece, and it bounces just wide of that post by less than a foot. He got enough of it. Here comes Shields now. Has Rousel with him. Backhands it in. Shield there. Down low. Gets a whack. 4 skaters aside, and you can see this has really opened things up here at the Halifax Forum. Kennedy loses the handle, and Shields now comes up with it, bothered there by O'Brien. Lost it momentarily. Look at it. It's almost like stuck to him like a magnet to a refrigerator as he'll go in after it. Definitely a better effort. You can definitely see that he is better. He's been battling illness. Leopold. 13 seconds remaining here in the Mackenberg penalty, and then they'll have a brief power play brought to you by Atlantic Acura. The Halifax West Warriors will, or the West Hants Warriors, pardon me. Bush, that hits the body, and now the penalty's over. So the West Hants Warriors have a power play for 40 seconds. Giswell trying to get through as Davison was on the march, and he, as I mentioned earlier, he's had success here in their one game. Yesterday he was held off the sheet, but the game at the Buster Harvey had 2 points. And they were actually leading in that one, and the West Hants Warriors are leading in this one. Burke goes down. Referee's arms stay down. 13 seconds left and the Prince penalty. Sparks, pardon me, sends it in. Phillips will send it down. Tried to, but it's knocked down there by McCollum Messam, and he gets a shot. It misses the mark. Came off those lively inboards and almost came out front. So we're even strength right now. 6 to go. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a great finish coming your way here at the Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships. 8 players here from this Duck organization at the end of the season will be graduating to Major Bantam and be playing for the Gulls, who are back-to-back provincial champions in the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. So this is an all-or-nothing sort of year. 16 players moving on when their season comes to an end. They just hope that it is not right now. It looked like these two teams are going to put on a dandy here at the championships, and you throw out yesterday's round-robin game, and that has been the case. It has been a good one. Guess who? Mr. Shields once again. William Shields going wide there, and Halliday a wrist shot. That's stopped there by McDonald. Amount of shots on goals he's got in this game. Must be getting close to the double digits there. Halliday decides to join the rush here with 5:19 remaining. Centering pass. Nobody home. And back out center ice. Prince sends it in. The Ducks will change a little bit of their forward line and also start a little bit of a defense change. Coming up to 5 left here. It's simple. It's a one-game format, and you really have to like this format. Win and you're in. You lose, you go home. It makes for great hockey. And penalty coming up here. Body contact. And it's Burke for the Ducks. Wrong time to be taking a penalty. 4:52 left here in period number 3. But now the West Hants Warriors on the Atlantic Acura power play. And even talking to Ryan Backman, he has done a great job of, convincing his players. Yesterday was yesterday. This is a different game, and this is a different team. And everybody told me it was going to be, quite a contrast between yesterday and today. And it has really lived up to its expectations here. 2-1 the score. And the Atlantic Acura power play here for the West Hants Warriors. But a steal here by O'Coin. O'Coin wrist shot, and Kroll makes the stop. Ducks don't care. They're just going to try to keep driving offensively. They know time's not on their side. Centering pass there out of the reach of Kearney. It's in the blue ice. Scores! O'Coin has been a thorn in the side of the West Hants Warriors, and they get the tying goal with 4:01 remaining in the period. West Hants Warriors, thanks to William Shields, have been getting a lot of shorthanded goals, and anything you could do, I could do better, says the Ducks. And they get the shorthanded goal, and Razzles now to the box, so it's 4-on-4 remaining 4:01. And then the Ducks will have an Atlantic Acura power play for all 45 seconds. And it's loud in the building. This building can seat a lot of people. It's not like those small arenas in small towns. So when there's noise made, you could hear it. 4 skaters aside, and 2-2 is where we stand. I said it before, I'll say it maybe differently this time. Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday morning, Halifax Forum. Shields trying to go get something going, and That's well defended. Couldn't defend it any better there by Jake Prince. 47 seconds left in the Burke penalty. And a minute 25 remaining in the penalty here to the West Hants Warriors. 4-on-4. Fletcher just pokes it in there as once again Shields, as I said, you're going to see a lot of him and probably see even more of him as we are into the late stages here. And linesman has to do a little skip to Lou. Here's Kennedy coming back again. 2-on-2, trying to go through bodies, and that doesn't work out. And West Hants Warriors look a little bit not on the same page there. Here's a bouncing puck out front there. Actually going to be called for knocked down with a high stick. Shields may go for a quick rest, and they'll jump over the boards as McCollum, Messam, Davison, and Leopold. They'll make a full change. They might as well. 8 seconds left, and then you'll probably see maybe about a 15-20 second rest there for Shields and back out there again. So this is a big face-off win, and Porter Kroll takes it and actually comes up with it, but Scherer will have to go back into her own zone for the West Hants Warriors. So it is a power play 5-on-4. Puck out front, a couple of Ducks on the doorstep, and O'Coin once again. They're going to have to get a jersey on him. He's had chances. Kroll will dump it in. 30 seconds, and same game plan here is that the West Hants Warriors are still going to try to get offensive opportunities, even down a man. There is who you guess you can classify as the man here at this championship. Shields has a pocket pick as Phillips goes the other way. Phillips, and a nice stick there by McCullough Messam as that doesn't get through. O'Coin sends it back there to Kennedy. Prince tees up and blocking the shot there. Shields, and here he goes, gets back up, and the penalty's over. And they tried to hit Giswald there, who was fresh out of the box, but the pass doesn't get to him in time. Less than 2 to go, 2-2 the score. Ducks, Warriors, a berth in the championship final up for grabs here at the Halifax Forum. Rivera now, quickly to O'Coin. Rivera's gas, goes for a change. O'Coin keeps on going. O'Coin backhand. Kroll makes a stop and covers up. They try to get Kroll moving, but he just goes pretty well with those shooters, and he's had a lot of success here at the championships. They try to get him moving, but he's just not really giving them anything really much to shoot at. A fantastic job here for Chase Kroll of the West Hants Warriors. This excellent third period brought to you by Cushman Wakefield. Manders with the puck. Off the glass and out. Halliday chips it in. Had a couple of his teammates trapped. They're now onside, ready to start the check once again. Bouncing puck there. Comes in the middle, and the West Hants Warriors having difficulty selling that puck, but they finally get it down into the Duck zone. And now whistle stops play. Full changes for both teams. 1:07 remaining. Greg McDonald and a few of his Bedford Blues players watching this one, getting ready for their game against the Glace Bay Miners. They may have to wait a little bit, and Kennedy kicked out of the circle as one of the players was not in the circle, pardon me, so means that O'Brien will have to take this draw, and Kroll wins that easily. McCollum Messam. That pass there too far out of the reach. There's Scherer, and here comes O'Coin with a Kennedy and Fuller. Kennedy shot. The save there by Kroll, and the rebounds steered towards the boards, but not out. O'Brien here, still trying to force the issue for the Ducks. Kroll picks his pocket and sends it to center ice and down. 30 seconds remain. Regulation may not be enough to determine the winner here in this one as it's sent in. Shields now with it. You have a funny feeling that Shields and Kennedy and maybe even Phillips, if they get on the ice here, are going to have a face, make it really hard there for them to generate anything going on, and probably have somebody breathing down their neck. Shields is out there looking for a loose puck. Rousel there. Kennedy joins the party. 2 seconds, 1 second, and 45 minutes, not enough. We're going to OT. They're just explaining the overtime rules. It's not any 3-on-3, it's just a regular 5-on-5. Round robin portion didn't have any overtime. We had 2 ties in the round robin, so really not really much surprise to really see this one go overtime. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the Halifax Forum. Dan Hobson and our producer is Neil Gordon, bringing you the sights and sounds of the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships. O'Brien got the Ducks on the board in the first period, late in the first period, 13-10, made it 1-0. And then Shields responded in the second period, 12:34, tying it at 1. Rousel made it 2-1, and it made it a quiet building, but O'Coin, shorthanded goal late in that third period, has made it a 2-2 tie. So we will play overtime, 5 skaters aside here. And if semifinal number 2 is as great as this first one, we should be in for a dandy of a day in the championship round here. So if you just joined us, my name is Dan Hobson. You've just gotten the Coles Notes version of what has gone on here this morning here at the Halifax Forum. Sudden victory. As we have 5 minutes put on the clock, as the fans make noise here at the Halifax Forum. Ben McDonald getting taps on the head there. And probably last minute instructions as Chase Crow will now make his way back to his goal. I'm sure you've heard it before, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. That's what we're going to see here in this one. But which side will be the winner and which side will be on the other side of the win? The wrong side. Coming away with a loss, but there's a great coach in the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. His name is Sean Woodworth. He's the father of Luke Woodworth, who was a former member of this TASA Duck organization who won a silver medal back in Trenton. And he told me at the end of the game when they had that heartbreaking loss back in Trenton when Sim got the goal there for the Pictou County Crushers, he said to me as we were walking out back leaving the arena that day, he said, "Dad, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose." And it's, you know, what's great about sport, it's also what makes it, you know, really heartbreaking is that, you know, as they say, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. And it's been words that I've sort of lived by here and, you know, echo a lot during these broadcasts. And that's the case in point now as we are into the overtime period. This is a big moment. Baldwin with a wrist shot and Kroll with the stop, and not much traffic in front of the Warrior goaltender. 3:40 remains here in overtime. And you know that you're getting here into the late stages as there's going to be pretty well changes even right after the whistle. Even if your top scorers are out there, they want fresh legs. Gets to be a little bit of grind as O'Coin there off the draw. Kearney tied it up and then left the puck, and O'Coin with a blast, and Kroll with the stop. Sharp as attack Kroll is. And even though it's a tied game, Kroll has been slightly busier than Ben McDonald, but just by a few, but not as much as the landslide was yesterday, as Prince and Porter Kroll will go after the puck in this foot race. Ducks all back, it comes out front, but they have all kinds of orange jerseys. Here's Manders now. Shot, and getting a piece of it is McDonald there. Shields gets there to screen William, that is. William, Matthew, both Shields here on this team. Manders again with a wrist shot. Bouncing puck there. Oh, and that just grazed the post and goes as there's a worm burner along the ice. Kroll trying to come out front. Set up Shields again. Oh, here's a good chance here. 2-on-2. Rivera. Shields gets back. O'Coin from a sharp angle. Nowhere near the target. Messam McCullough and Kennedy battle. The puck now is in behind the goal. And William Shields comes up with it. Up the center ice. Dumped in the rest of the way. McPhee with the puck. Rink wide pass. Too far for Kennedy. And this will go for icing. And what a great judgment there by Chase Kroll. He knows Kennedy is quick, but he must have knew that he was not going to get there in time, as that pass had a lot of mustard on it and goes across the icing line instead of coming out and play it. So good heads-up play there by the young goaltender. Just seeing some of the hockey IQ on these guys is just fantastic for all 7 teams here at the championships. And that was case in point there. 2:14 remains here in the first overtime period. McCullough Messam. Tanea Sparks with the backhand, goes in after it. Wouldn't it be fitting for her, after all of her solid specialty teams work, to maybe pot the game winner? Now she'll drive towards the net there, and a little bit too far out of her reach. It goes wide. Kennedy now with O'Brien once again. Fuller is the trailer. Kennedy. His body's starting to hit the ice surface, and William Shields turns on the Jets. Prince and Shields. Here's Shields now. Shields! Stopped by McDonald. Phillips was going backwards, and he was still stride for stride until the last 3 or 4 movements there by Shields, and he got just enough of room to get a shot. But Phillips did a fantastic job. Couldn't defend it any better. Guy who's going forwards, of course, is going to go a lot faster than the guy going backwards, and the West Hants Warriors will call timeout with 1 minute and 34 seconds. So, you know the plan here. Keep Shields out there. Must be getting close to the end of a shift. Keep him out there and give him a little bit of rest. More of the Blues players are dressed and are watching the end of this one. And probably the case also there for the Miners. They are out of camera range, but you can pretty well predict that they are also watching the end of this one. Brian O'Neill, Greg McDonald, the coaching staff, respective teams of the Blues and Miners, catching the final stages here of this one. Here's Rivera one-on-one. Rivera, McCullough Messam. Rivera shoots, and saved there by Kroll. Challenging the shooter, Kroll was. Shields now. Oh, loses the puck, but his teammate's there to pick it up. Shields must be getting close to gas. Oh, this could be a turnover here, and O'Coin has it. O'Coin fans on it. Oh, tried to set up Kearney, and it's too far. He couldn't reach. Wrist shot that doesn't get through as the big defenseman, McCullough Messam, comes up with it. And Warriors just happy to send it down the ice and start a change. Giswald, Rousel, Fletcher, McCullough Messam, and Sparks out here for the West Hants Warriors. Kennedy, Fuller, O'Brien, Halliday, and McPhee for the Ducks. 53 seconds remain here in this overtime period. McCullough, Massa, and can't hold the line as McPhee as the Warriors do get it out. Once again, the big man will have the puck here. Pass a little bit too hard to reach and handle there for Fletcher. O'Brien has it now. Running out of real estate. They tried the centering pass, but everybody that was there in a blue jersey prevented that. Chipped back in quickly by McPhee. 23 seconds remain. That pass to nobody in particular as they've iced the puck once again. You can probably see it as a very tired West Hants Warriors team, but if they've got nothing, they're not trying to force it. You just set it down and change your troops. Take advantage of the fact that you don't get penalized, that you can make a change on the icing. So it's good strategy. Try not to force something that's not there and give the puck to the Ducks and them all of a sudden just end your season. It's a smart strategy. Kennedy fell on the puck but got up quickly. O'Brien sends it down low here as time's running out. 6 seconds remain. Will they get a shot here before the end of the overtime period? Kennedy can, and the West Hants Warriors send it to the near side boards, and that's how this one overtime period comes in. It solves nothing. So the coaching staff will get together with their respective teams. And talk things over here. So while they do that, we'll take a break here at the Halifax Forum. Sparks razzle there for the Warriors. O'Brien, O'Coin for the Ducks. 2-2. We just finished overtime period here, so we have more hockey coming your way here on 360 Live. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Hobson. Just past 10 o'clock on the east coast of Canada. Glad you could join us here. It's semifinal number 1. Yesterday these teams faced, and it has been quite a contrast, day and night. 11-0, the Ducks won yesterday, not so handy today. And the Blues players are being asked to go back to their dressing room to get ready for the semifinal number 2, scheduled to start at 10:30, but that may be a little bit delayed as we haven't even got this one solved yet. And now, of course, we eliminate a couple of players here in this overtime period. Another 5 minutes up on the clock. And now we go to a 3-on-3. And starting at 3-on-3 for the Ducks will be O'Coin, Kearney. So it's a 4-on-4, my apologies. I've seen all the skaters here. A 4-on-4, so it is Kearney, Phillips, Prince, and O'Coin. Shields, Kroll, McCullough, Messam, and Davison. Fletcher, pardon me. So that's 4-on-4 for another overtime period to try to get a winner in this one. As Shields on the backhand, not much on it. He's got to be some tired players, and they got to leave something left in the tank. Here comes Phillips now. Phillips. A shot there from a sharp angle. Kroll gets a stop, and the rebound is gathered up by Phillips, but couldn't get a shot as he was really didn't have anything to shoot at. Prince. Phillips. And that's out the other side. Kearney gets it off the boards. Prince once again tried to hit Kearney. It's behind his back. Behind the net is O'Coin. Prince. Oh, he couldn't pull the trigger. He lost a biscuit at the last second. Tried to chip it by Halliday. There is Shields. Kenny. Oh, he can't. It's kept in. There's a puck. Passed up the center ice. And McCullough Messam couldn't settle it down. They've iced the puck, but at least they get the change. So we'll see Manders, Leopold, Giswald, and Rousel for the West Hants Warriors. Kennedy, O'Brien, McPhee, and Halliday for the Ducks. 3:53 remains here. Oh, and getting a piece of it and going and sailing over the goal. Luckily was for the West Hants Warriors. It was Chase Kroll. A shot that stopped. Rebound there. O'Brien, before he could whack, it was tipped off his stick and try to get that GWG. 2-2 is where we stand here. Ducks there right on the doorstep. Now it comes back to the blue line. Halliday sends it down to the team captain, Kennedy. McPhee gets a piece of it. Can he hold the line? Yes, he can. O'Brien now. O'Brien allowed to walk mid-slot. Skates outside the face-off circle. Does a little circle. And now will go in behind the goal. Kennedy now eludes the official. Turning into almost looking like a power play here as the Ducks have pressure here on the West Hants Warriors. A shot! And they go top shelf, and it goes high. Manders trying to clear for the West Hants Warriors. You see the game plan here. Just get it out. And now the Ducks will change. Here's a long late pass, a stretch pass, and Kearney picks it off, but trapped was O'Coin inside the line as they tried that outlet pass, and fortunately O'Coin was inside the line, and it results in the offside, so it breathes a sigh of relief right now for the West Hants Warriors. I said that they were, really not, giving anything up, but the lane was there. So if you thought you have something, it ended up almost being disastrous for them, but it keeps it 2-2 right now here as we pass the halfway point of their second overtime period, a 4-on-4. Prince intercepts, but boy, he doesn't have much going on in terms of speed and almost blew a tire, but did keep his balance. Here comes Shields there, and players are going down here, and you can see the referees don't really want to be any much of a factor. Fans wanted to call, but it looked like it was pretty clean from my end, so play will continue on as we have 2 to go. Phillips. He'll go around. Skate a lap here at the Halifax Forum. Out front there to Kearney. Actually, it's O'Brien, pardon me, and it's sent down. And they've iced the puck again. And I want to retract my retraction. It really was Kearney. I thought it was. 8 versus 9. 2-2 is where we stand. 1:50 left in the second overtime period. Well, I can tell you right now, semifinal number 2 is not going to start at 10:30. It's 15 after 10 right now on the east coast of Canada. Oh, and I'm not sure if Kroll saw that one. The shot there from McPhee. Halliday hits Fletcher in the knee with that one as Fletcher gets in the shooting lane. Kennedy, wrist shot. Nowhere close to the net on that one. Manders has some open room, but he didn't slap it hard, so McPhee will keep it in. O'Brien has it again. O'Brien trying to set up the deflection there for Kennedy. He gets a piece, but he also goes down as he was defended there by the Warriors, and the Warriors chip it out, and it will have enough gas for icing. 1:06. You got to wonder who has the most experience playing these 4-on-4. Right now, you'd have to say the territorial play would be the TASA Ducks, looking pretty good here. Even though it's 4-on-4, it's almost looking like a power play. Ducks once again, and we have a penalty here in the overtime period. It's a hooking call. Ryan Beckman is incensed. A hooking call going here to Kearney. Beckman can't believe it. And I think he's called a timeout. And they will talk it over. So this will go to a 4-on-3. And it will probably stay that way for the remaining one, providing, of course, that the Warriors don't score. As the penalty comes with 1:01 remaining in this second overtime period. And this is more of a just to try to get the composure because we went relatively a long period of time without a penalty here in this game. It has been a quiet one in terms of penalties, and now all of a sudden you have to get your focus. Duck fans remember 2017 in Trenton, and they're hoping that that is not the movie that's going to play out again. They didn't like that movie then. A shot there and a stop there by McDonald and a shot there by McCollum Messam. They didn't like the movie then. They're not going to like it now, and they're going to try hard to make sure that they can get their ticket punched to the final. They're having a scratch and claw to get there now. 40 seconds remaining in this power play, brought to you by Atlantic Acura for the West Hants Warriors as Manders can't knock that down. Back up to center ice, Manders now assessing the situation. As you see, is a 4-on-3, and it will go that way till the end of the period. Kennedy tried to clear, Manders blocks it, second chance, down. And now it's survival mode here for the Ducks on a 4-on-3. But the time is winding down, 10 seconds left. Shields pulls the trigger. Philip Prince gets in the way, and Giswald can't get the shot. He shoots it afterwards. McDonald not happy and says, what? Not going to give him a penalty. And McDonald not too happy. Actually gave the glove to the West Hants Warrior player. So 2 overtimes are in the books. And a third one looks to be coming up. And you know who's really happy about the way that this is transpiring is the Blues and the Miners. Backman still talking to the officials, not really happy about the hooking call. And here we are once again into our third overtime period. We started with 5-on-5, went to 4-on-4, and we're going to still have a 4-on-3 until the whistle after the penalty has expired. There's 59 seconds left in the hooking penalty to Kearney. And then we will have 3-on-3. So they're pretty well. Well, you got to hope that they have something left for that championship game, whichever team advances. And it looks like we're going to get things started here. But before we have that, we have Ryan Backman there talking to the officials once again. So it's just been confirmed they're going to go to the shootout here. As the shootout scores are being, and they're also getting the understanding of what's going on here and here in this overtime format. We're into the shootout now. And taking the shootout here will be O'Coin, and he has had success against this West Hants Warriors team. So 2 overtime periods in the books. Doesn't solve anything. We're going to a shootout. The reason why I was a little bit unsure of what was going on is they still had the penalty up there for Kearney, so. And that's the reason why I thought we were going to another overtime period. My apologies. But, of course, this is also new here for tournament organizers and officials as they get together here on this one. But it is a shootout. And Colin O'Coin will take this first one here for the Ducks. Referee's giving some last-minute instructions here to Chase Kroll. So it's in the hands of Kroll and McDonald as well as these elite players here to determine the winner here in this one. The referee blows his whistle. Here's our first shooter. As I said, it's O'Coin. And he's taking his time here going in on Kroll. And through the wickets and scores. Well, you have a guess of who's taking this first shootout goal here. Top goal scorer here at the championship, it's William Shields. And he puts that in, no problem. So far, each team has a check mark put there in the shootout categories. We go to round number 2, and it will be Phillips that will take it here for the Ducks. Phillips will go wide now here on Kroll. And that's stopped. Advantage Warriors down. Porter Kroll. And he slowly comes out, gets across the blue line. And puts it through. McDonald upset as he goes to the bench. And when you need a shootout goal to keep your season alive, who do you call if you're the TASA Ducks? Your team captain, number 19, Quinn Kennedy. Here he comes. And it's stopped! And the West Hants Warriors will be going on to play in the finals. Chase Kroll has his helmet off. And the Ducks season comes to an end in a heartbreaking style. Last year they had to watch the Bedford Blues win the provincial championship in their building. They were hoping that this was their year, and they had a fantastic season, no doubt about it. But this was the one that looked really good on paper. It maybe should have been probably the ones that should have met in the final, but it did not come out that way. And they played a fantastic semifinal, and the Warriors will now await the winner of the Miners and the Blues. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Coach of Woodworth, one team's got to win and one team's got to lose. And it's a hard way, and you can see the coach there tapping all of his players, making his way down the line, and so is Sexton. This is a world-class organization that the TASA Ducks are. They're led by Ryan Backman with Luke Sexton, Dave Bennett, Josh Fader. The treasurer is Joanna McPhee, manager Pete Halliday, and they have been fantastic and very accommodating to the 360 Live staff, and they have been fantastic. They've had a fantastic season. Congratulations to them. I know it hurts, but as Ben McDonald will go and get the player of the game, it is a tough pill to swallow, but a great season. 16 players will be moving on. 8 will be dressing up, wearing the black and green of the Landwork Gulls, the Gulls next year, as Razzle will get the player of the game there for the West Hants Warriors. And now they're going to have to quickly get some rest, get energized, and maybe they'll stay here at the rink. Not the way they want the season to end for the Ducks, but the West Hants Warriors will move on, and the Ducks will go home as Pete Halliday, the manager, taps his players as they go off the ice. And they're getting round of applause from the players. Heartbreak for them. But for the West Hants Warriors, it's a quick turnaround before the championship game. We'll sign off. We got to get ready for semifinal number 2. We ain't done yet, folks. Not proper language, I know. Glace Bay Miners, Bedford Blues coming up. And we'll try to have that, well, it's supposed to be starting at 10:30, probably maybe about 11 o'clock here on 360 Live. For my producer, Neil, my name is Dan Hobbs, and thank you for tuning in so long from the Halifax Forum.